Hello there guys, welcome back to the live stream once again. This is a discussion live stream in which I'm gonna be discussing about the wrong tactics companies use these days to fool the users around there. Well, basically Gotham Knights was announced a whole lot of time ago. Now recently they have announced that the game will be having Denivo, but later yesterday they announced the system requirements which are really insane. I'm talking about the minimum system requirements for Gotham Knights game, and it starts from a GTX 1660 Ti. This is a 6 GB VRAM GPU which is relatively powerful than GTX 1650, 1650 Super, GTX 970 and other mid-range GPUs. A whole lot of people are now angry with Warner Bros company giving the fact that they required the game to be pre-ordered a whole lot of time ago. Now they are requiring and telling the people that hey guys, here are the system requirements. Now a whole lot of people pre-ordered the game and now they are confused, should they actually cancel their pre-order or not, or should they just test the game and then return the game. This is the condition basically which is now available. Although the SSD space is not very much, it is only 45 GB guys, but the minimum system requirements are really insane. Let me just quickly you can just now I think see on top of me what I'm talking about. The minimum and the recommended system requirements, basically the recommended system requirements are not out yet, but the minimum system requirements are just very crazy and very insane. It is saying that I will require a i5 9600K. Holy fuck, I have a i5 9300H, a quad-core laptop CPU with a 2.4 GHz base clock speed, and they are requiring a holy 9600K overclocked CPU at the bare minimum. So we cannot even imagine how the recommended system requirements will be. They will be top-notch RTX 3060 Ti or with Intel 12th gen CPU or probably 11th gen. But other than that guys, these are the tactics these companies are using. First of all, they invite all of us, show all of the good trailers, and then they say hey, pre-order the game, we are offering you a whole lot of new superheroes, a good story, but they never tell you the system requirements. They tell you the system requirements when you pre-order the game, and then you are thinking hey, will I run it, can I run it? But hey, people are these days are quite foolish, to be very honest. They pre-order the games just by taking a look at the trailers, by not taking a look at the system requirements. Not a whole lot of companies use such tactics. For instance, other games like Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection and other games like Need for Speed Unbound, they already told us the system requirements guys a whole lot of time ago. We all know the system requirements for Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, but what we do not know is the system requirements for Gotham Knights. Well, we now finally know it. They have announced it later yesterday, and now these are the system requirements which are in front of us. Welcome to the live session, and let me know if you guys are ready to play this game. Is your PC ready to play this game? If you go by the system requirements, and if I go by the system requirements, my PC is certainly not ready for this game because I do not have a overclocked K series CPU, and secondly the base clock of my CPU is 2.4 GHz. I am certainly not ready. What I am meeting in the system requirements is the storage space. I certainly have around 512 GB of free storage space in my solid state drive. I have yes, I have 16 GB of RAM, but what I do not have is a 1660 Ti. I have a much inferior GTX 1650, which is a laptop mobile CPU. So I do not think that I will gonna be running this game at 60 FPS because they are recommending that you must be having a 1660 Ti and 8 GB of RAM to run the game at 1080p 60 FPS but at low settings. Yes, some of you were confused. Hey, probably these were the system requirements. Some of the people were thinking that hey, these were the recommended system requirements. No guys, if they were the recommended system requirements, why the fuck they would have written over here the low quality preset? So this means that these are the low and these are the minimum system requirements required to play this game. What will happen of those users those are having GTX 960? Well, I think it is pretty much outdated now, as we have seen the Gotham Knight system requirements, or probably the game is pretty much unoptimized or pretty much heavy due to the incorporation of a third-party DRM like Denivo and Temper. But we can take this thing with a pinch of salt because we are now gonna be entering into the whole new era of gaming. Yes, what I am saying, which is evident over here, if I just go here and show you the dead space system requirements, you will get pretty much surprised and you might get your head blown off right away because the minimum system requirements of dead space starts from GTX 1070. Let me just quickly search on Steam Dead Space, and in a moment we will be there and we will gonna be saying Dead Space game. Well, this is the official website, and probably these are the real thoughts of Gotham Knights developers, that we don't give a shit, we don't give a fuck about people who are having mid-range PCs. No matter what, how much unoptimized a game is, no matter what, if a game can fulfill the requirements of the graphical intensive scenarios in a 4 GB VRAM preset, but who the hell cares if a game is using 6 GB VRAM to fulfill the requirements of 4 GB VRAM? So that's the company, that's the motto these days of whole lot of companies, that they do not just want to optimize their game, they do not want to spend a whole lot of resources optimizing their games for mid-range PCs. Rather, they want to partnership with bigger companies like Nvidia, bigger graphic cards like RTX GPUs, which are obviously in the late 30 and 90 and late 40 series. They just want to partnership, offer a new DLSS experience, and they just stopped giving a fuck about GTX gamers. That's the sad reality, guys. Most of the companies are just following this motto these days, and this is the sad reality of gaming basically as of now. So what do you guys think? Please let us know in the live chat. And other than that, guys, let's just quickly see the Dead Space system requirements. Well, I think Dead Space will gonna be a great game. Certainly the company has not mentioned that they will be probably using any sort of DRM or not. Yes, Dead Space is probably not using any sort of DRM at the very moment, but we have seen a whole lot of companies, guys, telling about the incorporation of a third party DRM like Denuvo just prior to prior to release of the game, prior to one week basically. So this is the thing that actually happens, and this is a sad reality in gaming these days, that companies are not maintaining transparency. When a company does not maintain transparency, things go terribly wrong for gamers. So we are over here in the Dead Space official page, and if you can see the system requirements, they are starting from GTX 1070. I hope you can just see them. Welcome Phoenix, what's up, what's going on? Dead Space will use Denuvo. Well, are you sure? Probably it's not mentioned on Steam. Yes, it's not mentioned on Steam. Let me just quickly move it over here. If Dead Space uses Denuvo, if it does not matter, the performance of the game should be decent enough. But I think, yeah, it will be decent enough for GTX 1070 because it is already a relatively powerful GPU. It can easily handle Denuvo no matter what DRM you throw at it. But GPUs like 1650, 1050 Ti, 960, 970 cannot handle Denuvo DRM, and CPUs like quad-core Intel i5 9th gen, 10th gen cannot handle Denuvo DRM thrown at it, because we all know that Denuvo uses a whole lump sum of CPU resources. We have seen in Assassin's Creed Origins how much CPU resources was the game actually using. We have seen Ubisoft giving official statements that the recommended settings to play this game are at 30 FPS only, so do not expect 60 FPS. Then we have seen after the Denuvo was removed from the game, not officially though, the crackers and the pirates had actually removed the Denuvo CPY group basically, and then we have seen the real performance from Assassin's Creed Origins, how smooth that game was, and even people managed to run that Assassin's Creed Origins games without Denuvo at ultra settings at 60 FPS, at 50 to 60 FPS with a 1650 laptop. A whole lot of videos are there on YouTube, you guys can check it out for yourself. The main point, the main argument is here that Denuvo hampers a whole lot of performance, and now companies are getting smarter, and then they have actually boosted up the minimum system requirements to GTX 1070, so people can just complain. A 1070 can easily handle this game at 60 FPS 1080p low or medium because it has the VRAM, it has the CUDA cores, but GPUs like 1650 or 1050i can still handle this, can still handle this game. But the game, if the game has Denuvo, things will gonna be just bad for 1650 users, and that's the reason probably they are hiding the fact that it will use Denuvo. Probably they will just update their page now after 1 month or 2 months when the real release date is basically near. Other than that, guys, if I just, okay, it's asking me to sign in for not so authentic reason. Probably this game is age restricted, I do not know, but the thing is the DRM basically, and I have a 1660 and I do, you can, yeah, probably I think you can play it. Yeah, Denuvo sucks, everybody knows Denuvo sucks. That's why cracking groups, the hacking groups like Empress, even the Resident Evil Village cracked version was featured on Digital Foundry YouTube channel. The journalists actually acknowledged the cracked version of the game. What could be, guys, what could be the thing right now? They were really appreciating the cracked version of the game, although they were not recommending you to download the pirated version, but they literally compared the pirated version of Resident Evil Village to the original version, and we all know how pathetic the original version was. Even after the 6 months of official Resident Evil Village launch, the game was still plagued with stuttering issues. Although after 6 months the update was released and there were just some adjustments made to the Denuvo code, and then finally the game stutters were fixed. I'm talking about high-end GPUs. Even on the high-end GPU, the performance was absolutely terrible with Resident Evil Village, and people were complaining that hey, how Capcom can release such an unoptimized game specifically for PCs. But the real truth came out when people came to know that the real culprit was Denuvo, not the Capcom team basically. I played Village with high settings. Hell, even I played with ultra textures and everything on my Section 50 laptop. It ran absolutely fine. Yeah, so that's the thing, na. They just keep fooling the people who have genuinely purchased the game. They try to say that hey, our game has FSR now. Holy fuck, my game, the Resident Evil pirated version, runs even better than the FSR version. Why? Because there is no Denuvo. And FSR, who the hell likes FSR? It literally plagiarizes the performance, graphical performance of the game. Although it gives you a little bit of boost in the FPS, but it is not recommended if you want good graphics. So if you have a good GPU, so yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I completely agree with you, my friend Phoenix. That's the main thing, that when people use Denuvo, when companies use Denuvo, they actually lose a whole lot of consumer base. Not a whole lot of consumer base basically, because still in present day, a whole lot of people just go to Steam and purchase the game whatever they want and whatever they like. A whole lot of nerds, a whole lot of people who just want to have some sort of knowledge about additional stuff like DRM and the performance of the game, they try to just get a whole lot of knowledge. Hey, whether the DRM will gonna be impacting the performance or not, whether always online DRM will gonna be hampering the performance or not, and other stuff. The thing is, if people like having a RTX 3060, that GPU can run pretty much anything you throw at it, whether you throw Denuvo at it or whether you throw any always online DRM at it. It can run pretty much anything easily without any issues. So if I am having a RTX 3060 or 3060 Ti, I will just go to Steam and purchase a game whichever I want. If I can afford purchasing a RTX 3060 Ti, why the heck I would even look for pirated games? And why do I even want knowledge about the DRM and everything? I will just straight away purchase the game and just badmouth pirates. That's the thing. But when the things actually go wrong, when a legitimate user purchases the game, for instance a 3060 user, then experiences lags, stutters, getting knocked out in the game, and then he realizes hey, the culprit was actually the third party DRM. Then he goes on to Twitter with whole lot of friends and just backslashes the company. And that's how actually players and gamers are rising up against third party DRMs like Denuvo and everything. And that's why even how a lot of people commented on my channel that they will not gonna be pre-ordering this game. They will probably wait for the cracked version of the game, or they will just probably wait for the benchmarks and then make a decision, because purchasing a game which has Denuvo does not actually make sense if you have a 1650 or even a 4 GB or 6 GB VRAM GPU. Okay, welcome my friend. And true, because I used to have 1650, it ran Elden Ring fine. Now I have an RTX 3060. Yeah, congratulations first of all for getting a fresh, brand new and powerful GPU. It's certainly a worthy upgrade from a 1650. You're gonna be experiencing a whole lot of new graphical things, ray tracing effects and everything. So yep. But we gamers, even myself, I'm still rocking a 1650, although it does not make a whole lot of sense for me to upgrade to a newer GPU because I already spent a whole lot of money on this thing. So I think I will probably wait until GTA 6 launches. But other than that, Phoenix is saying eventually Empress will crack Gotham Knights. Obviously, yeah, she gets donations. She's literally a crazy person when it comes to hacking. And basically, she was also offered a job by Denuvo, but she, rejected it. We do not know. But what we know about Empress, the cracking skills, we do not even know whether she is male or female, whether the Empress thing is using an alias or not. We actually do not know anything about Empress. We just know that this person cracks games, cracks Denuvo games, has some sort of knowledge, intensive knowledge about Denuvo, about DRM, and she actually goes on cracking games. Recently, she cracked Dying Light 2, a popular AAA game from 2022 basically. I do not know whether the performance was improved, because these days I think Empress is using a different strategy to crack Denuvo games. Basically, she is not removing the Denuvo code. She is not removing the Denuvo DRM fully from the game. Rather, she is just disabling a particular code so that the game can launch and run without any issues. But But if you see older games cracked by CPY, like for instance take Assassin's Creed Origins once again, you will see the executable file size difference. Just compare the original executable with the cracked executable. You will see at least 50% of reduction in the cracked executable file, and that was the reason Origins ran way much better than the original game basically. And there is a dude named as Overlord Gaming on YouTube. I have seen a whole lot of his comparison videos, and he literally did in-depth comparison, de novo versus without de novo comparison of the games, including Mad Max game, Tomb Raider games, a whole lot of games comparison he did. So if you are just into gaming, PC gaming, I will highly recommend you guys to check Overlord Gaming out. Just go ahead, bounce off, search his channel, and you will just see a whole lot of massive difference in de novo comparisons basically. Although some games remain unaffected, I do not know why, but some games literally have a whole lot of performance difference after de novo is removed, either by pirating, either by officially companies. Literally companies silently remove de novo from their games after after their need is fulfilled. Why companies use de novo? Because they want to prevent day one crack of the game. As we all know, any de novo game recently has not been cracked until 3 months. So if anybody is looking for cracked version of Gotham Knights, he or she will have to wait at least 3 or 4 months. Also, there was a research done by a Reddit user who actually aliased himself and went to de novo, and he did a deal with de novo. And the thing was, the deal was that de novo will gonna be paying the money back to that dude, that alias developer, if the requirements does not get fulfilled. Basically, if a particular game gets cracked which is using de novo under 3 months, de novo company will pay back the developers of that particular game using de novo. So that's the thing going in the background. Although we cannot just say this thing with 100% confirmation, because that was a research basically done by a random Reddit user which was claiming himself to be a game developer. So that's the thing, guys. De novo is and the third party DRM, specifically de novo, is a major thing. A whole lot of money exchange is done basically in the background. Companies pays a whole lot of things, purchases de novo, add de novo DRM, and the de novo people ask, hey, whether you would like to incorporate de novo in your DLC as well. Companies was like, hey, yeah, sure, why not? We will gonna be seeing the same thing in Shadows of Rose DLC. Yes, we will gonna be seeing de novo in Shadows of Rose of Resident Evil Village. Let's quickly search Resident Evil Village. Resident. Cool. Guys, now I'm gonna be taking a look at the live chat, and thanks a lot for joining the live stream first of all. Yep, the only reason I bought Gotham Knights is I'm a huge DC fan. Yes, certainly I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and if someday I can afford buying a whole lot of games in a year, basically I can afford buying 2 or 3 games in a year, that's the max I think. If I am a huge Assassin's Creed fanboy, I will gonna be definitely purchasing the game. But although I'm not a blind fanboy, so I will just take a look at the previous games, the history, and the things company is doing. Although Gotham Knights could be a great game, basically we have seen how good Batman Arkham Origins was, so your purchase can be absolutely justified. We actually do not hate companies using de novo just for the sake of it. We hate companies because they do not maintain transparency. Yeah, that's the thing. So let's quickly read rest of the chats. And Phoenix is saying, I have Empress Dying Light 2. It runs great with high settings, 1660 Ti. Yeah, that's cool. And he's asking, did you try Dying Light 2 Pirate One? No, I have not tried yet. Although I have downloaded it, but I was running out of space, so I did not just. I was just unable to try it. But other than that, I think Dying Light 2 was not even worth playing. That's the honest opinion of a whole lot of people in the gaming community. Although if you just care about the storyline and everything, it's just not worth playing. Rather play games like Resident Evil Village, which have a whole lot of depth in storyline. I don't mind waiting, never gonna buy Gotham Knights. Yeah, that's your opinion, and we respect everybody's opinion, whether it's against de novo or whether it is pro de novo, because that's how argument begins basically. This reminds me with the situation when Elden Ring and DS3, the only reason they went with easy anti-cheat is because hackers were coming into your game and hacking. Yeah, exactly. Hackers are a huge problem, as we have seen in Modern Warfare 2. Hey, what the fuck is wrong with Modern Warfare 2? Let's quickly go here, guys, and see whether the Modern Warfare 2 system requirements are available or not. Call of Duty. Here we go. Yep, this game is coming very soon as well. So let's quickly take a look at the Modern Warfare 2 system requirements. And yeah, let me just take a look at the chat once again. Do you think Plague Tale Reliquim will get cracked early? Cause in Steam page it is third-party DRM but not Nevo. Hey, are you sure it is using a third-party DRM? Let me quickly see it, because I've been a huge watcher of DRM basically. Do you guys know a website used to exist like Crackwatch or something? So it used to maintain the DRM status of the game, and I'm very fond of this thing, basically checking the DRM status, DRM version of the game. But surprisingly, I will be coming back to that game in a moment, my friend. But let's quickly take a look at this thing, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Oh, not the remastered, basically the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 AAA game. So this game is not having any sort of DRM as of now. At least it's not mentioned over here as of now. We do not know whether it has any Steam DRM or Activision DRM. Yeah, it says third party EULA but not in Evo. Yeah, it can get cracked then very easily. Every game we see here and there has a third party EULA, so that's perfectly fine. I think that's not even probably a DRM, basically that's just you agreeing to their terms and conditions. If you go to the Need for Speed Unbound system requirements now, you will see a game Need for Speed Unbound basically, and then you will see a third party DRM which is Origin client software. Ubisoft has been using this with Denuvo. So basically Ubisoft had 2 or 3 layered DRMs. Basically one is the Uplay Protect, second was the Denuvo, third was the that thing which I just said a few moments ago, the new DRM, basically whatever that was. So if I search for Need for Speed, we will see another DRM. Yes, let's quickly open it over here, NFS Unbound, NFS. So basically this stream is now becoming a DRM comparison stream. Okay, Need for Speed Unbound. Let's see whether you can find that or not. Yes, the DRM is confirmed on NFS game. I think they will gonna be incorporating Denuvo as well. Doesn't matter for the crack, bro, because if the storyline of that game is not entertaining, it's not good enough, then it doesn't matter whether the game will crack or not. We all know the storyline for this game, basically for Gotham Knights, will gonna be amazing. We all know that, there is no doubt in that. So for that particular reason, Empress might get donation from someone. It will obviously get donation from someone. Basically Gotham Knights is the most hyped game of 2022 probably, after God of War Ragnarok probably. Yeah, so it depends. So here we can see a whole lot of green stuff. I hope you can just see it. Let me just quickly yeah, let me just quickly move this thing over here temporarily, and now I hope you can see the third party DRM incorporation. So this is the official page of Need for Speed Unbound, and it is having a Origin client software installation which will gonna be running every time in background. Hell, I do not even want Windows Explorer and Windows Start and Windows Search to run in the background while I am playing a particular game, and they are saying that Origin client software installation is required, and it will gonna be running constantly in the background, checking for internet resources, and it will gonna be checking for me whether I'm hacking or not, even though while I am playing single player. So that's the thing, that's the spying the game companies do these days, even though if you are even playing a single player game. And a whole lot of microtransactions as well, the favorite habit of Electronic Arts. We cannot say anything about that once again, but yeah, that's how companies do these days. Although Gotham Knights, the company behind Gotham Knights, is promising, hey, there will gonna be no microtransactions. Basically they are promising that. That's good news. But on the other hand, guys, if we see this game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, there is no news of any DRM incorporation as of now, and secondly there is no news of any system requirements as well, and this is the only thing which pisses me off the most. Okay, for instance, let's say I have made my mind to pre-order this game, but now I am still confused because there are no official system requirements mentioned yet. Same went with the Gotham Knights game, and probably same will go with Infinity Ward's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, because the system requirements are not out yet. Do you think Electronic Arts is a fool that they release system requirements too early? Probably yes, probably not. Basically they want people to know, hey, these are the minimum system requirements. And I think, assuming the fact that the system requirements were released too late for Gotham Knights, just before the game was gonna be releasing 8 days, in a matter of 8 days, I can estimate that the system requirements for Modern Warfare 2 will gonna be starting from at least a GeForce GTX 1650, because we have seen the system requirements for Call of Duty Cold War, they were starting from probably GeForce GTX 1650. So there is no way that the system requirements will gonna be starting from a GTX 960, which is already an outdated GPU. So let me know what will be the minimum system requirements for Modern Warfare 2. Although if we just go to a plague tale, the system requirements for this game are also very heavy. It is starting from GTX 970, which is relatively powerful than GTX 1650 Super. All the 1650 variants are inferior to GTX, GTX 970 basically. I think GTX 1650 Super might come close to 970, but if you just compare the original, the stock 1650, the DDR5 version, or even the DDR6 version, it is nowhere close to the 970 basically. There will be probably 10 FPS difference at the max. So this game is coming in 5 days. Not a lot of time, guys. But yes, it requires only a agreement to third party EULA. So no DRM basically. And that's a good thing, guys. This company basically, a Plague Tale. There was one game in the Plague Tale series that was pretty good, and they just do not want to plague this game with Denuvo. A Plague Tale's developers do not want to plague this game with Denuvo or any Origin Lite or any software or any DRM which just hampers the performance of the game. Already we know that the graphics of this game are insanely beautiful. Go ahead, just check the official gameplay walkthrough videos of this game, which were officially uploaded by YouTubers. Just check it out. And the gameplay was absolutely just lovely, guys, of this game. And the story of this, basically the daughter and her brother, was very emotional as well to a whole lot of people. So I think this game will gonna be very good, and kudos to developers for not just getting greedy and using any sort of DRM. One day or the other the game will just gonna get cracked, but if your game is good enough, just like GTA 5, it will gonna be just selling a whole lot of copies basically. Yeah, plague this game. Okay, yeah, exactly, guys. The thing is, even a whole lot of people, a whole lot of gamers on Reddit use this argument. Just do not plague just do not plague a game with Denuvo. That's the thing. And surprisingly, the this game name is a Plague Tale. So yeah, let's hope we have a little bit of a good amount of trust on the developers, guys. This is Absorber Studio and Focus Entertainment is the publisher, and the developers are Absorbo. I cannot just pronounce it, but other than that, I think this game will gonna be a very good game, guys. So far as we have seen the graphics and everything, they just look very much realistic. The game engine feels very much realistic, guys. No matter what, how bad this game runs on my PC, I'll still gonna be playing it because it's just good looking as far as I can see. But other than that, let's see. Tomorrow, one game is coming, and a whole lot of people are excited for that game, which is Scorn, the most creepiest game of 2022. I have never seen a whole lot of creepiness other than in just any game in my life. This game will gonna be probably the creepiest game of 2022. Scorn. I do not even think what the fuck is protagonist made up of. Is it made up of something which we just do not know, man? It's just some creepy stuff, some creepy molded stuff, which is just even worse than Resident Evil 7. The system requirements for this game are very good, and the good thing is that this game is unlocking not in one day but in 18 hours. So I will gonna be doing a countdown to launch celebration to launch live stream, in which that will gonna be probably a 5 hours long live stream. In that live stream we're gonna be just talking about this game, basically reacting to the leaked gameplays, reacting to the official reviews, reacting to the upcoming gamer ANX video, which will gonna be before you buy. So yeah, although we all know that if a game does not uses any sort of DRM, it will gonna get pirated on day one, that's for sure. A whole lot of people just do not buy the game, even if they can, even if they have the capability, resources, money to buy the game, they still do not want to purchase the game, they just want to pirate it. That's their own choice, by the way, and that's the choice of the company how to deal with that. But other than that, as I've already told you guys, if a game turns out to be good enough, the sales will gonna go up and up. That's the main motto of good games, basically. And there are a whole lot of things about this game, guys, that this game might have actually a 18 hours long storyline too. This game will not be having any major cinematics. Everything will gonna be interactive with the environment. So you will gonna be reloading with your hand, you're gonna be just interacting with a whole lot of molded creatures, a whole lot of horrific stuff will gonna be there. So I think this game is also a very good play for people who are having a GTX 960, 970 or even a 2 GB VRAM GPU. The system requirements of this game game are starting from a 1063 GB only. So people will gonna be playing this game, enjoying this game even on their 2 GB VRAM graphic cards, at least at 720p, because 1063 GB is recommended for 1080p, and yeah, 50 GB of SSD space is recommended, and yeah, the system requirements are decent enough. So let's quickly read the live chat once again. Yeah, so don't worry, GTX 1660 will support every game. Yeah, obviously 1660 is a beast of a GPU, and until GTA 6 comes, I think many of you users do not have to worry about this particular game. Basically, I mean that particular GPU 1660 is already good enough. And let me just take a whole lot of comments which are just shown over here. So let's quickly read your comments, guys. Uh, okay, let me just start from here. I got to enjoy a game didn't play years ago, not having a console, and that game is Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man was a great game, although I was unable to play that because I was busy in my personal life. But I will definitely try Miles Morales because I have literally loved the graphics of that game, how the swinging feels, and how the 2020 game, the basically the official 2020 release was the Miles Morales, how the game engine feels, how smoothness the game had, and how the winter theme was represented beautifully in that game. I just loved that. So I was also waiting to get hands on to Spider-Man Miles Morales, and that game is coming in the month of December, I think, and the system requirements are already out. And the good thing is, guys, that the system requirements are not heavy, just as the Gotham Knights game. That could be due to the fact that because the game is a 2020 game, not a 2022 game, so the system requirements are decent enough considering that